I dedicate this book to all the people who died and survived on the Titanic. In the early 1900s, Thomas Andrews thought of making the Titanic. He thought and thought. Then it came to mind. He knew how it would be done. Then the people started the construction on March 31st, 1909. It ended in 1912. It took 3 years. But then the biggest ship in the world was done. Then, on April 2nd, 1912, the captain and crew went on a practice drive. They practiced going right and then left and going in circles. 8 days later, April 10th, 1912, they were ready to sail. They got all the supplies they needed in Belfast, Ireland, and went to Southampton for their first stop. Process of the Titanic being built. What's inside the Titanic? The Titanic was a ship that was as long as 3 football fields and as tall as an 11-story building. It had a lot of space inside. It had tons of restaurants, cafes, gyms, and pools. There were 60 chefs to make meals for the travelers. In the Titanic, they had a ton of space for the ton of stuff. These were small items, but lots of them. They stored 5,900 tons of coal. They put all the coal at the bottom of the ship. They also had 36,000 oranges, 40 tons of potatoes, 40,000 eggs, and tons more food for the residents. Coal they had to use to keep the ship going. Some food they had on the Titanic. Classes are levels where the people stay. There is 3 classes. The first class, where the rich people stay. Their tickets are over $400. The first class people had the best rooms. Unlike the third class, first class had 50 feet long rooms and their own private deck. The kids on first class had tons of stuff to play. Well, they had lots of space up there on that floor, so they played tag and sometimes hide and go seek. They also had mechanical horses and camels. They had tons more fun things than the other class. The second class is about in the middle of the ship. It's under the first class and above the third class. The tickets are not as expensive as the rich people in first class. Second class people aren't rich like the first class, but they're about average, like me. Their ticket price is about average. It's about $65. In the third class, it had more people than first and second class put together. They were the poorest class on the ship. Their tickets were $36, but nowadays it costs $642. Their cabins where they slept were very crowded. The kids played on the deck. That's the only place they could play. They played tag while their parents sat in the gleaming sun and watched. Along the way for the construction of the Titanic, 17 buildings